welcome to the Virtual Groomer. My name is Jack and today I'm bringing you a very unique video. This is a Wetshaving Awards of 2021. I did one in 2019, I didn't do one last year, so I thought I'd bring it back this year. Show you everything in a few different categories, like my favorite stuff throughout the year. We've had some really good releases this year, so it's been pretty difficult for me to choose all of these, but I hope you guys kind of respond well to the video. Let me know your thoughts on some of the categories I've chosen. The categories I've gone with are best razor, best scent, best soap bases, best newcomer, and the best brushmaker. And these are all obviously my opinions. If I've left someone out that you feel is a shoo-in for that prize, just let me know who you think. So without further ado, let's get into it then. So let's start with the best razor. For me, the best safety razor of 2021 is easy. It's a razor I've had for a few months now. It's a razor that I find myself coming back to more often than not when I use a DE. Anyone that hasn't watched my videos recently will know I've switched pretty much exclusively to straights. I'm putting that extra time in to get better at those. But if I do use a DE, it's most probably this one, and this is the winner of the Best Razor Award of 2021. This is the Blot Razor from Switzerland. What more can I say about this razor that I didn't in the review? If you haven't watched the review, I'll link that in the description below. It's just the razor is made for me. It's a minimalist design. Not only that, but the blade clamping on it, which is something that I hold quite highly when it comes to razors I enjoy. The blade clamping is so good. It's the best of any razor I think I've ever used. I've used the 9.9, I've used the 8.6. The 9.9 has slightly more blade fill, but it still just holds that blade so close to the edge and it's so comfortable to use. Easy winner for me. Remarkable razor. If you ever get the chance to use one, I'd highly recommend it. Blot 2019 razor winner, pretty easy for me. Now let's do my best scents, and this is going to be in order. So I've got all the scents down here. Number 5 on the best scents of 2019 is Fuji Namata by Southern Witchcrafts. I've put this here mainly due to the fact that it's really innovative. He's used this strawberry cassis element along with this fougere chord, like the typical fougere notes, and it's done very, very well. You get like this clean, juicy strawberry, and the cassis is almost like a black curranty green, quite dark. Then that's like on this bed of this really beautiful fougere chord, and Sean Mayer did a great job here. Number 5 is Fuji Namata. Now number 4 is an Artisan that I just got into this year. They've been around maybe for a couple of years now, but I've started using their stuff and most of their releases really appeal to me. Number 4 is from First Line Shave, and that is James. James is, what can I say? It's amazing. It's a mixture of peach and tobacco to my nose, but that peach is like this perfect juicy ripeness to the dryness of the tobacco. The tobacco here used isn't really sweet, and it's done so well because peaches are quite sweet, you know, but they've really managed to add a lot of good balance to this, and this is why it's number 4. I'm a big fan of tobacco scents, and I just couldn't think of anything else to put in there from First Line Shave. I really love this one. Number 3 for me is something that was released very early in the year, and this is a very unique scent in shaving. You don't see many of these, but I had to put it in. This is up until maybe 5 or 6 months ago. This was my scent of 2021, and it was like that for a while. This is from Grooming Department, and this is Mumtaz. You can see that here. The scent of this is pretty out there. The most prominent note to me is castoreum. I know a lot of people don't like those funky animalic notes, but for me it's just so creative. That's mixed with these floral elements and these citrusy elements. It's giving those floral and citrus elements place to shine, but also saying, hey, I'm here, you know, I'm castoreum and I'm here to be feared. It's not funky or animalic to me, and I understand it might be to some people, but for me it's really not it's not repulsive in any way. The way the flowers intermingle with the citrus notes, and then they're grounded with that castoreum, is so unique and so enjoyable to me that I had to put it at number 3. Number 2. This is a release from Ariana Evans or The Club. This is an absolute no-brainer for me, and kind of difficult to not put it to number 1, but number 1 is special. So this is Vanilla Vendetta by The Club. Now this smells just like a perfume, which I really enjoy. This smells a lot like Gentle Fluidity Gold by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. There is a vanilla note here that is done so well, mixed with this green, slightly herbaceous juniper. It's just so nice. Oh man, if you trust me guys, if you haven't tried this, I highly recommend you do. Number 2, Vanilla Vendetta by The Club. Number 1, and I wonder how many of you guys saw this coming. This for me is an absolute no-brainer in terms of both creativity and daringness, because this isn't an easy scent to put into a soap. This is from Loafer Grooming, and this is Namka. Namka is a really nice blend of rose, oud, and I'd say gourmandy base notes. They're dark, heavy, slightly brooding. Like they're definitely there for sure. Fuck. it's so good. Rose, this oud accord, which is so freaking realistic, and by far and away the best representation of oud in a shaving soap. It's not even close for me. That rose is dry and jammy at the same time. These base notes that just elevate it. This is a duplication of a soap from Diptyque called Oud Palau. The reason why I've put it here is just I love it so much, and it's fucking daring to put in a shaving soap. Most people wouldn't even try, quite frankly, because it's quite funky, and I really enjoy that. I understand a lot of people that don't enjoy that, and that's perfectly fine. But for me, this is a no-brainer. Namka is my scent of 2021 by Loafer Grooming. Next one is best soap bases of 2021. I'm going to do 2 of these, and my number 2 is Omnibus by Barrister & Man. Omnibus kind of has to be good. There are like 40 ingredients in this. The reason I've put it here is because I think it's quite a big step up over Excelsior. For me, Excelsior is a good soap base. It lacked in a few elements, and I think Omnibus really makes up for that. The Omnibus post shave for me is so good that like I don't need any splashes from Barrister & Man anymore, and there's not many vendors that do that for me. Omnibus is definitely there. Number 2 for me is Omnibus by Barrister & Man. And I hate to do it, guys, but number 1, in fact, I don't hate to do it. I take a great amount of satisfaction in this because I know how hard he's worked on this, and it just makes perfect sense. Number 1 is Loafer Grooming again. I just think Loafer, what he's doing here is he's added a ton of cosmetic grade ingredients that aren't typically seen in shaving soap. You know, you're not getting your cocoa butter, your shea butter, your stuff like that. He's added things that are cosmetic grade and things that aren't typically used quite as often. And because of that, quite frankly, I really appreciate him, you know, reaching out kind of outside, trying to put stuff in it. It does have butters, but it's not like the main focus of the hydration of the soap. The main focus of the hydration of the soap is something that was quite, let's say, controversial at the start, which was the dimethicone. And I think that is what sets this soap apart in terms of post-shave. Some of you might not like it. For me, it's for sure number 1 at this point across all metrics. It's so slick. The residual slickness is amazing. Its latherability is one of the easiest soaps to lather in my opinion. And the post-shave is better than everything else. Number 1 goes to Loafer Grooming. The next category is going to be my favorite Aftershave Splash. And to me, this has to go to Oakenlab. I have liked this Aftershave Splash the most since I used it. This is between this and the Loafer Grooming Aftershave Splash. I've not used that splash enough, quite frankly, to say I prefer it over this, so I'm going to choose the Oakenlab one. It's alcohol free, it absorbs so fast, and it just feels so nice on the skin once it's applied. I really enjoy the Oaken Labs Aftershave Splash. If you haven't had a chance to use this yet, I highly recommend it. Best aftershave for me of 2021 is the Oaken Labs Aftershave Formula. Once again, thank you for watching the video. If you like another way to support my channel, please look in the description below. There's a buy me a coffee link. All it does is it keeps me fueled with caffeine. I'm not going to be using the money for anything else aside from coffee. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. That's that. Next one is the best newcomer of 2021, and I am going to pick Loafer Grooming again. I can't think of many new Artisans this year, quite frankly, but I probably pick Loafer Grooming anyway. I think the way Johnny has produced this soap base, it took him 2 years to come up with this soap base. He was working really hard. The scents he's released already, some of them have been quite challenging. They all have a story behind them, especially his first 3. They all have a good story. His core lineup, which is Tears, Calm, and Dave, some of those proceeds go to charity of any of those sales. There aren't many other artisans that are doing that. I know Mammoth and I think First Line Shave do it as well. So congrats to them. Congrats to Loafer Grooming on doing such a cool thing. The way Loafer's also kind of combined into the community. He's a big part of the community at this point. I don't think there are many people that don't know who he is. He's very active on social media, responds to people. He's also very, very receptive of criticism. When he first released, I thought his soap base was amazing, but there were rooms for improvement. I went back to him, he took that completely on the chin and improved his soap base once again. And yeah, easy newcomer of 2021 for me. That's Loafer Grooming. And the last category is Brushmaker of 2021. He's probably been around a bit longer than this, but I started using his brushes this year. I don't see him talked about very regularly. He's gained way more popularity this year. And this is a brush artisan from Italy. And this, for me, is my brush artisan of 2021. And this is Voiding Cop. It's just a mixture of everything, really. He has some really unique brush handle designs, things that aren't taking from someone else and changing it a little bit. He does his complete own thing, and that's something I really like about Alessandro's approach to design. He definitely has a look that he goes for, and to be honest, some of it really isn't for me, but it's quite out there, and I really appreciate that. Not only that, but he ties all of his knots himself. He doesn't treat any of his knots, and his knots are some of the softest I've ever used, and that goes into the amount of care he takes when not only putting them together, but selecting the hair to use for his knots. I have both his silver tip and his tube end, and they are both magnificent. He makes handles out of wood, which for anyone that knows me knows how much I love wooden handles. He's just the definite brush artisan of the year for me. And to be honest, he's become one of my favorite brush makers, period. So Voiding Cop, my favorite brush maker of 2021. Fantastic. I really can't argue. But yeah, those are all of the awards today. So we're going to go back through it. Best razor of the year was the Blot out of Switzerland. Absolutely fantastic. My best scents were Fuji Namata by Southern Witchcrafts, James by First Line Shave. 3 was Mumtaz by Grooming Department. 4 was, well, I mean, the other way around. 2 was Ariana and Evans or the Club Vanilla Vendetta, and my scent of the year of 2021 was Namka by Loafer Grooming. Best soap bases of the year, my second was Omnibus by Barrister and Mann, and my top was Loafer Grooming's V2 base. Best newcomer of the year was Loafer Grooming. The best aftershave splash was Oaken Labs, and last but very not least, the best brush maker for me was Voiding Cop. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video today. If you're new around here and haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. If you agree or disagree with any of the things I've said, put it in the comments below. Let's get a chat going, why not? Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video today, sorry. I guess I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.